Welcome, Class 9 students, to an exciting journey into the world of biology. Today, we are diving into a fascinating and incredibly important topic: antibiotics. These tiny medicines have changed human history, saving countless lives. We'll start with the basics, then gradually explore their complex mechanisms, the challenges they face, and their profound impact on our world. Get ready to uncover the secrets of these microbial marvels across 4 levels of understanding. Ready to discover how these amazing medicines work? Let's start with the simple facts about antibiotics. Antibiotics are truly special medicines. They are substances, often made by tiny living things like fungi or bacteria themselves, that have the unique ability to either kill or stop the growth of other harmful microorganisms, specifically bacteria. Think of them as your body's tiny, specialized defenders against bacterial invaders. They are a crucial type of antimicrobial drug, meaning they fight microbes but specifically target bacterial infections. This distinction is important. They won't work against viruses, like those causing the common cold, or fungi. So, how do these tiny heroes actually work? Well, antibiotics are clever. They target specific parts of bacterial cells that are different from our own human cells. This is key because it allows them to harm the bacteria without harming us. Some antibiotics are like super soldiers, directly killing the bacteria. We call these bactericidal. Others are more like strategists, stopping bacteria from multiplying, which gives our own amazing immune system a chance to clear the infection. These are called bacteriostatic. A fantastic example is penicillin, discovered by Sir Alexander Fleming. It's produced by a common fungus called Penicillium and has saved millions of lives, treating diseases like pneumonia and strep throat. Now, let's test your understanding with a few quick questions. First, what is the primary function of antibiotics? Second, can antibiotics be used to treat a common cold, and why or why not? And finally, can you name one famous antibiotic and the microorganism it is derived from? Take a moment to think about these, and you'll be ready for the next level. Great job on the easy level. Now, let's deepen our understanding of antibiotics, their history, and how they actually operate inside our bodies. The story of antibiotics truly began in 1928 with a lucky accident by Sir Alexander Fleming. He noticed a mold, Penicillium notatum *, growing on a petri dish had stopped the growth of bacteria around it. This observation, though initially overlooked, was the spark that ignited the antibiotic era. It took over a decade, but scientists Howard Florey and Ernst Chain later purified penicillin, transforming it into a life-saving drug. This discovery marked a turning point, making once deadly bacterial infections treatable and fundamentally changing medicine forever. Antibiotics aren't all the same, they work in different ways. We categorize them into 2 main types based on their action. Bactericidal antibiotics are direct killers, like penicillin, which often destroy the bacterial cell wall, causing the bacteria to burst. Bacteriostatic antibiotics, on the other hand, inhibit the bacteria's growth and reproduction, giving your immune system the upper hand. Tetracyclines, for example, interfere with bacterial protein synthesis, preventing them from making essential building blocks. Understanding these differences helps doctors choose the right treatment. At a more general level, antibiotics target crucial bacterial processes. Many, like penicillin, prevent bacteria from building their cell walls. Without a strong cell wall, bacteria can't survive. Others, such as tetracyclines, interfere with protein synthesis, stopping bacteria from making the proteins they need to function. Some antibiotics block the production of DNA or RNA, preventing bacteria from replicating. And a few even disrupt how bacteria make vital nutrients like folic acid. The key is that these targets are unique to bacteria, ensuring the drugs attack the invaders without harming our own cells. However, improper use can lead to antibiotic resistance, a growing global concern. Time to challenge yourselves with some medium-level questions. First, who discovered penicillin, and what organism produced it? Second, can you differentiate between bactericidal and bacteriostatic antibiotics, giving an example for each? Third, list 2 general ways antibiotics can kill or stop the growth of bacteria. Fourth, why is it important to complete the full course of antibiotics, even if you feel better? And finally, are antibiotics effective against viral infections? Explain why. Think critically about these. You've built a solid foundation. Now, let's explore the intricate details of antibiotic action and the complex challenge of resistance. Antibiotics can also be classified by their spectrum of activity. Broad-spectrum antibiotics are like generalists. They're effective against a wide range of bacteria, including both gram-positive and gram-negative types. They're useful when the specific culprit isn't yet identified, but a downside is they can also harm beneficial gut bacteria. Narrow-spectrum antibiotics, on the other hand, are specialists targeting only a specific group or type of bacteria. These are preferred once the pathogen is identified, as they minimize disruption to the body's natural microbiota. For instance, penicillin G primarily targets gram-positive bacteria. This specificity helps us understand why different antibiotics are chosen for different infections. Let's dive deeper into how antibiotics work at a molecular level. Beta-lactam antibiotics, like penicillin, specifically interfere with the synthesis of peptidoglycan, the main component of bacterial cell walls, causing them to burst. This is a bactericidal action. Then there are antibiotics like tetracyclines and macrolides, which inhibit protein synthesis by binding to different parts of bacterial ribosomes, effectively paralyzing the bacteria's ability to create essential proteins. Fluoroquinolones, such as ciprofloxacin, block bacterial DNA replication and repair by targeting enzymes called DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4. Each mechanism showcases a precise attack on bacterial vulnerabilities, highlighting the remarkable specificity of these drugs. The biggest challenge to antibiotics today is resistance. This occurs when bacteria evolve ways to survive antibiotic treatment. There are several mechanisms. Bacteria can produce enzymes, like beta-lactamases, that destroy the antibiotic itself. Or, they might use efflux pumps to actively push the antibiotic out of their cells. Some bacteria modify the specific target site that the antibiotic usually binds to, making the drug ineffective. Others reduce their cells' permeability, blocking the antibiotic from entering. This resistance is an evolutionary phenomenon driven by natural selection. When antibiotics are used, susceptible bacteria die, but resistant ones survive, multiply, and pass on their resistance genes, often through horizontal gene transfer, making the problem spread rapidly. Alright, it's time for some hard-hitting questions. First, distinguish between broad-spectrum and narrow-spectrum antibiotics, giving an example for each. Second, explain how beta-lactam antibiotics specifically target bacterial cells without harming human cells. Third, describe 2 distinct molecular mechanisms by which bacteria can develop resistance. Fourth, why might a doctor prefer a narrow-spectrum antibiotic if the pathogen is identified? Fifth, how does the overuse of antibiotics contribute to resistance? Sixth, name an antibiotic that inhibits protein synthesis and briefly explain its action. Finally, what is the role of bacterial DNA gyrase and which class of antibiotics targets it? Good luck! You've tackled the complexities, and now we're ready for the ultimate challenge. Let's explore antibiotics at a competitive depth, connecting them to engineering insights and their profound impact on global health. Many antibiotics originate from microorganisms within the 5-kingdom classification, primarily bacteria from the kingdom Monera, like *Streptomyces*, and fungi from the kingdom fungi, such as *Penicillium star. These microbes naturally produce antibiotics as a form of biochemical warfare to outcompete rivals in their environment. This inherent microbial diversity is the wellspring of our most powerful drugs. Historically, the pre-antibiotic era was one where even minor infections could be fatal, highlighting the immense leap forward antibiotics represented. Understanding these natural origins is key to discovering new antimicrobial compounds and appreciating the evolutionary context of their existence and the resistance they face. Antibiotics exhibit remarkable selective toxicity, precisely targeting bacterial structures or metabolic pathways absent in human cells. For instance, beta-lactams don't just inhibit cell wall synthesis, they specifically bind to penicillin-binding proteins, or PBPs, which are bacterial enzymes crucial for cross-linking peptidoglycan, a unique component of the bacterial cell wall. This binding prevents the wall's integrity, leading to osmotic lysis. Ribosomal inhibitors, like aminoglycosides, bind to bacterial ribosomes, specifically the 30S subunit, causing misreading of mRNA, while macrolides target the 50S subunit, inhibiting protein elongation. Fluoroquinolones, on the other hand, inhibit bacterial DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4, enzymes vital for DNA replication. These molecular insights underscore the engineering precision of these natural compounds and guide the design of new synthetic drugs. Antibiotic resistance is a sophisticated evolutionary battle. Bacteria acquire resistance through genetic mutations or by exchanging resistance genes via horizontal gene transfer, often on mobile genetic elements like plasmids. At a molecular level, resistance can manifest as enzymatic inactivation, where bacteria produce enzymes like beta-lactamases to destroy the antibiotic. It can involve target site modification, where mutations alter the antibiotic's binding site, as seen with MRSA's-modified PBPs. Bacteria can also develop efflux pumps that actively expel antibiotics or alter their cell membrane permeability to block entry. Furthermore, some develop metabolic bypass pathways to circumvent the drug's action. This dynamic interplay between antibiotic action and bacterial adaptation, driven by natural selection and genetic exchange within the Monera kingdom, highlights the urgent need for new strategies to preserve antibiotic efficacy. The rise of antibiotic resistance has profound implications, threatening to usher in a post-antibiotic era where common infections become untreatable. From an engineering perspective, this calls for innovative drug design, creating molecules that evade existing resistance mechanisms or target novel bacterial vulnerabilities. Combination therapy, using multiple antibiotics with different mechanisms, is a key strategy to enhance efficacy and reduce resistance development. Beyond new drugs, we need rapid diagnostics to quickly identify pathogens and their resistance profiles, enabling targeted treatment. Finally, antibiotic stewardship programs are crucial. These initiatives aim to optimize antibiotic use, reduce misuse in humans and agriculture, and preserve the effectiveness of our existing arsenal, ensuring these life-saving medicines remain viable for future generations. Now for the first set of hardest level questions, challenging your analytical skills. First, explain how the selective toxicity of beta-lactam antibiotics is achieved at a molecular level, referencing specific bacterial structures. Second, describe 3 distinct molecular mechanisms by which bacteria can acquire resistance, providing a specific example for each. Third, discuss the evolutionary pressures that have led to the natural production of antibiotics by fungi and bacteria in their ecosystems. Fourth, compare and contrast the mechanisms of action of tetracyclines and macrolides, both of which inhibit protein synthesis. And fifth, how do mutations in bacterial DNA gyrase lead to resistance against fluoroquinolone antibiotics? Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. Let's continue with the remaining hardest level questions. Sixth, elaborate on the role of horizontal gene transfer in the rapid dissemination of antibiotic resistance genes among bacterial populations. 7th, from the perspective of the five kingdom classification, identify which kingdoms are most significant for both the production and the target of antibiotics, justifying your answer. 8th, propose an engineering insight for designing a new antibiotic that could overcome existing beta-lactamase resistance. 9th, why is combination therapy often more effective in treating severe bacterial infections and in combating the development of resistance? And finally, what is antibiotic stewardship, and what are its key objectives in addressing the global health crisis of antimicrobial resistance? These questions require a deep understanding and critical thinking. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into antibiotics. From their accidental discovery to their complex molecular mechanisms and the global challenge of resistance, we've explored how these tiny medicines have reshaped human health. Remember, understanding biology isn't just about memorizing facts, it's about appreciating the intricate dance of life and the impact of scientific discoveries. For more engaging content, interactive lessons, and to continue your learning journey, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more fascinating biology topics. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.